Video on an overhead beam trolley with hoist that I designed for my basement to get stuff up and down the stairs. Back isn't quite what it used to be. The framework on top, I doubled up 3 sets of 2x6s, doubled up the studs on the inside, put the beam on the front, and one to connect all of them together. And the front, I was only able to double it up without the face piece. The beam itself is, I was going to use some S3 by 7.7, but I ended up welding up a beam instead. So it's basically 2 pieces of C-channel with some 2-inch spacer, and then spacer plates every 8 inches or so. Should be good. It's hung from the rafters by, each piece has 4 sections of all thread 7/16 with the nuts welded onto the top of the C-channel. So with like a 400-pound load, each nut would be getting 100 pounds, which isn't bad. I've tested this up to the 600-pound load, which is a 1/4 ton. And it did that without a problem. I had a friend that came up, he owns a gym. So the winch itself is on a 1/4 ton or a 1/2 ton trolley. And I drilled out a piece of 1 1/4 inch cold rolled, welded that on, and I did it all the way there. You know, you can see the cross pieces as well. The white paint is basically so I can see if any cracks develop in any of the welds. It'll be easier to detect that way. The mounting bushing is directly over the center line of the reel. Now, they say with the trolleys that the loads should be always directly centered and to be very careful with your spacing up there. So I've spaced it as best I can, and that's another reason that I used the 5-inch wide. This gives me 5 inches, and this is about 4. So I'm always within the width of the beam for where the load's going up. So basically I can be off center like 1.5 inches to 2 inches either way. And I didn't know if this would be a problem. So far it doesn't seem like it is. But that's why I didn't use the S3 beam, which would have been a lot easier, but it would have only given me 2.5 inches. The weight that you see hanging off the side there is to counteract the weight of the motor over on the right. And what I did was I put a triangular piece of wood before I mounted the bushing on. I put a triangular piece of wood right here, and I kind of spaced it until I could balance the whole thing right in the center. So that way there's no built-in torque left or right. That's all handled. And then I ran the wire up, hooked it into a circuit above. And this is a 138-pound X2 mini mill. I just had that by the door. So you can see it's actually quite a quick lift. So once you get your item up, it's just an easy roll. And now it's ready for loading out the door. Also, I've built a platform. You can see the supports to it. I have some 2x6s that slide in, and they'll go right below the door, so that way, because the beam doesn't extend outside the door, you can have a platform inside.